time to start up with the next build here in the workshop. And while I'd considered a couple of different things, there's one I recently picked up that has basically been begging me to move it to the top of the list. And that is the Bandai Super Minipla Voltron Legendary Defender that I picked up at my local hobby shop. And this thing is, there is a lot of plastic here. I've deliberately not unbagged it just to keep it all together. There are instructions here separately for all 5 lions, as well as a separate set of instructions for turning it into Voltron. As you can see, you've got all 5 lions as individual builds, plus the ability to combine into the legendary defender himself, Voltron, Defender of the Universe. In my case, what I'm probably going to do is just build it as Voltron and leave it that way. But we'll play that by ear. This being a Bandai kit, it'll probably be a fairly quick build, but at the same time, it may take some time because there's actually 5 models going into 1 model, so we'll see. Okay, here we have the assembled Black Lion. Got the blade in his hand, the side cannon, or blade in his mouth, side cannons on for now. That won't stay. Now, one thing I wanted to point out here, you can see it best on the belt buckle. These are stickers, but as you can see, they press down really well to conform to the shape. I was pleasantly surprised by that. Now, I do have a couple of gripes with this thing that as a serious model wouldn't necessarily go over well. You can see the gaps in the legs and in the backs of the legs. Those will become a much bigger gripe when I assemble Voltron, because those will still be very visible as the legs of the Black Lion form the upper legs of the Voltron robot. But all in all, it needs some weathering and stuff, but it's looking pretty good. All right, joining the Black Lion now is the completed Red Lion, the good right arm, if you will, of Voltron. Got the blade in mouth. One thing I did differently here, those gray areas on the cheeks are actually supposed to be a decal, but I decided, since that's roughly the same color as the Vallejo light gray primer, I would just do that. Same goes for the silver trim on the ears. Much like with the Black Lion, the Red Lion does have issues with open areas on the backs of the legs, but those should not be a problem when going for Voltron mode. In fact, for Voltron mode, it actually has a separate head. This one, the front piece is actually a light gray piece. But all in all, then you add, of course, the famous blazing sword. So far, we're getting there. All right, continuing construction and moving right along, we have the finished Green Lion. Much like the red one before it, I hand-painted the cheeks and ears on the lion form head. On the Voltron head, I actually just painted the ears because the cheeks were molded in color. There's your spinning shield, spinning laser blade, whatever you want to call it. 3 lions down, 2 to go. All right, here we have the finished blue lion. Now, one thing I did not do here was I did not assemble the lion mode head, partly because I could get the jaw to grip the blade just fine without doing that, and partly because in the end I don't really plan on displaying the lions separately. Like the others, it's, you know, kind of toy-like in the back, which is kind of disappointing. I mean, would have been nice to at least fill these in. If I were building the lions to display, I would probably go in and fill those. But that is 4 out of 5 lions built. Next up, number 5, yellow lion. And last, but certainly not least, we now have the completed yellow lion. Now, I did something kind of stupid here. You can't see it because of the way I've done things, but this red piece has a peg on it that goes into the back of the lion's head. I cut that off by accident. I actually trimmed it off the sprue too short. So what I did was I took a piece of the red sprue, drilled out that red piece, and used that to insert it into the back of the yellow lion's head. Given I'm not going to be playing around with these a lot, it shouldn't be too much of a problem. As you can see, it's got the same issues, if you will, as a lot of this. This thing's clearly designed as more of a toy than a serious model. As you can tell by the fact this weapon pack is also open, as are the insides of the legs, the stuff I've pointed out previously. Now, like I said, we now have all 5 lions. So the next stop for this batch is going to be probably the first and only time, barring me taking them apart for a wash or something, which I may or may not do. We'll see. I think I will wash them just to help bring out some of the details and remove some of the toy look. But there are the 5 lions, as the phrase goes, ready to form Voltron. All right, so I lied. We get one more look at the 5 lions. At this point, I've gone in with a block wash and hit all 5 lions as well as the shield and the blazing sword to help bring out the detail and remove some of the toy look to this thing. Now we have all 5 lions ready to form Voltron. All right, I've gone through all the necessary steps, swapped out the legs for the covers, and I'm actually kind of happy with how this turned out. I could probably do more if I really wanted to make this a more model than toy, but all in all, more or less straight out of the box, this actually worked out pretty well. Without further ado, I give you the legendary Defender of the Universe, Voltron. All 5 lions present. The blue and yellow lines forming the feet and legs. The black line, red and green lines forming the arms and body. And of course, the black lion supplying the head. We have the blazing sword in hand, as well as the spinning shield. The black wash actually did bring out quite a bit of the detail and help remove at least some of the toy look from the kit. In this form, Voltron is actually very poseable. I mean, you can tell I've already got him in kind of a guard stance, for lack of a better term. The shield and sword fit into, or have pegs that fit into holes in the upper jaws of the red and green lions. Of course, your tails all fold up. Instead of making the legs fold, they use these discs to better simulate what you see in the show when Voltron's fully transformed. But all in all, it's a nice looking little model. Size-wise, it's just a little bit smaller than the Max Factory Gypsy Danger. Voltron here comes up to about mid-chest on Gypsy. But as I am starting to ramble, I will close this by thanking you all for watching and put some stills at the end. Thank you very much.